Frank, any other announcements before we bring Shawn on? You're muted. I'll unmute you.
Oh, let's let him rip. We're good.
All right. Was that fast enough for you, Frank?
That was good.
All right,
Super
brother.
fast. I like it.
All right, man. It's all you.
Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir.
Good. I've been confused. I got Frank texting me, asking when I'm getting on. Mike's talking to me. I'm already on. It's like
I couldn't find you. I was freaking out.
It's like I'm eating mushrooms again. I don't know what the hell's going on. Then you got these people with the thing in the back. You can't see this dude got the sunglasses and his thing. That's his little deal. The other guy's staring me down like he don't even smile. One dude, all I can see is the top of his head. It's like the dude in the Home Improvement. It's a weird. It's a good collection of people, dude. I like y'all. Y'all really, this girl's running an appointment. She's like, Aphrodite is like, I don't even know what the hell y'all talking about. I'm just doing my appointment and killing it. So good for her. So, all right. Well, here's what we're going to talk about. What I want to talk about tonight, whatever y'all talk about afterwards. I won't take up too much of your time. But I think it's really important to get people to start to think like tonight. I really hope in my short time, I get you to start thinking about you and your business. You and your business. Because like, let's just take the leaderboards we just went over. Like leaderboards are great, right? They're unbelievable. The problem though, is that a lot of times if we're on it, we're like, dude, that's great, right? I was on it. I was number 1. I was number 5. Was whatever the deal was. I was on it. Like I'm good. And then we don't think about how we can continue to be on it. Consistency is the key, right? That was my deal. I want to be in the leaderboard every week. Like I just want to miss. Yeah, of course I want to be number 1, but I want to be on it every single week. I don't want to miss it, right? And also I wasn't on it. Like what should I be doing differently? You know, so I think the thing about our business is it's a beautiful business when there's accountability, but it's a really punitive business without accountability, because lack of accountability means you're not where you want to be and you blame somebody else, right? Or you're winning and you're like, dude, I did this all on my own. I just went on I went and met with a bunch of people at the carrier was doing some awards and stuff. And Trey, you know that if I meet people that don't work with us, my question is, why don't you work with us? Like I recruit you. That's the way it works. Like, why are you not working with us? And the guy was like, do you work at Family First Life? And I go, yeah, I work here. And then his niece was sitting in the back of the room. I was like, do you want a chair? And she's like, nobody else offered me a chair. I go, because they're all selfish, but do you want to sit in my chair? I can grown man, I can stand up. So then he calls me tonight and he's like, hey, you didn't tell me you own the company. And I was like, you didn't ask me if I own the company. Like I recruit, it's what I do all. And I said, why do you want to join us? He said, your humility. Like I like humble people that are doing really well. But I'm always like, what can I do better? Like, how can I get better? So when people ask me, what's the strategy for the company for the next year? What's your strategy? What's the company's 90-day plan or 5-year plan? What is yours? Like you look at the leaderboard, Mike, and all I want to know, I want people to answer, if they write it down or not, what is holding you back from writing 30 grand a month? And write it down. I don't know what it is. Write it down, man. Like write it down. You know, I think it's this and this and this and that. That's why I'm not able to do it. Cool. Like, okay, now take those things you wrote down and figure out which ones you can do something about, which is probably all of them. Because there's nothing we don't have anything you require. Now, if you go, I don't have any money to buy leads. Okay, can you fix that? I haven't scheduled my work schedule right. Can you fix that? Like, what are you doing? How many people have you recruited? You should, if you've been in this business 90 days, Jesse, you should have 12 people direct to you recruiting. Frank Euphemia had last month 38 writing legs, which is the widest in the company. This group, Frank, Mike, your group had 38 direct legs in the company, okay? So that, now, the beautiful thing is, if Frank and I are talking, I'm like, dude, you could do so much better. And he's like, I know we could do so much better. That's a beautiful thing. Like somebody said to me today, why are you so fired up lately? I'm like, dude, I've been fired up my whole life. I've always been like this. Like I've never not been like this, but I'm really excited about where the company's going, because this is the first time that we've scaled and focused so much on profitability. So much on profitability. Like, what are you acquiring for leads? We did this past month, 34% of our life premium was IUL. Mike or Frank, what percentage of your life premium last month was Index Universal Life? Do you all know?
I don't. Jamie might.
Jamie probably does. But like, so what we have to do is moving forward, my goal for the company is that 50% of the life premium, Jesse, is index universal life. Now, why do I think that's good? I said 10 years ago, it's kind of funny. Everybody remembers the things I said I shouldn't have said. They don't remember the damn things I said that I should, you shouldn't have said that. Yeah, I know, mother effer. Like, you remember everything I wasn't supposed to say. What about things I said that were actually good? Nobody remembers those. Those are all blasted out. 10 years ago, I said, when somebody figures out how to do IUL simplified, we're all going to write it, because mortgage protection has a shelf life. And when rates are a certain, it's tighter for the company, the insurance companies to make money. And also when markets are down and rates are up, like there's just not as many leads. So lo and behold, we have simplified issue IUL. And also in the 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th year of mortgage protection, some people can come out and go, hey, you have a term return of premium, but look what I can offer you here with this IUL. And it a lot of times is very enticing to the customer. So if you had that product out there, it's hard for you, right? So Trey, I think your goal with your agency should be 50% IUL. I think that should be your goal. Now, only because now it's not going to be 80 or 90 because we have a lot of final expense, right? But I think what's my perfect mix? 50% of that would be IUL. If we're talking about just life, probably 30%. That's somebody's full hand. Wow, it went away. 30% is, oh, no, it's back. 30% is, final expense, 20% mortgage, and that will continue to dwindle. And I do think it will grow, but the persistency on IUL is 90%. 90% of what's written in Index Universal Life is on the books after a year. 90%. To the 65 to 68% of mortgage and final expense. So very profitable. And also it's one of those things where we're recruiting more people now. I didn't care what I sold. If you told me, go over there, it's where you lived, which is not a good area, and you're going to collect money orders, 17 money orders a day for $31 a month. I was like, dude, whatever, I'm in. I'm trying to make money. Now, some of my friends would not do that. But when I started talking about Index Universal Life, I had friends who were like, dude, I'd sell that. Matter of fact, I'd buy one of those. Like, that actually makes a lot of sense to me. And the key too, from the annuity front, and I mean, you guys should sell more annuities than everybody. You should, because of the training you got and the people you have on your team. But one of our requirements, and I know people get weird about requirements. Funny, because we had a lot of requirements when we started. Like, you're required to call this many people. And it wasn't, Jesse, really like a requirement punishable by anything. It was just a requirement. And it was funny how we all did it. And then people are like, I'm independent. I don't need any requirements. It's like, no, you need some structure, dude. Everybody does. My requirement for Shawn Meaike as a personal producer was I wrote an annuity a month. Every month I wrote an annuity. No matter what it was, I wrote an annuity. Every month I wrote one, and that helped me with some income that I wouldn't have necessarily had previous, right? Like, I knew that was going to stay in the books. So for me, you start thinking about your profitability as we move as a company, as we continue to scale, as we continue to grow, because we got into uncharted waters. Nobody's ever issued $500, $600, $700 million a year. Nobody. I went to Transamerica, like, you're number one distributor for us. I'm like, you're our 14th carrier in ranking. So how are we number one with you? Y'all need some more distribution. Like, I'm not mad at you, but I'm like, I beat these guys. We don't even write you. Like, I'd fire all them if they worked for me. They don't do anything anyway. But what I want to leave you with tonight is, how do we deal with this complacency that we have? How do I get some of y'all to understand that you should have a massive business? How do I get Aphrodite? I'll pick a name because that's a really cool. Did I ever read her name in the cruise thing? Because that's a hard name to forget. Aphrodite. Got qualified for the cruise, Mike and Frank. How do we get Aphrodite to believe that she should build $1 million a month business? Not only should she, but she can. How do I get her to believe that people see her that way already before she sees it? Same thing I was trying to get Trey Honeycutt to understand. How do I get Trey to see himself the way everybody else sees him? Because I see him that way. I was seeing myself that way before anybody did, which is that chip on my shoulder I have. How do I get Dominique and how do I get Jacob to go, I should do $1 million a month? Yes, But how about this? The reason you're not at that number, now let's go from 30K a month to why is my team not doing $1 million a month? What do you need to change about you? I've gotten to a point where I magically spend 0% of my time talking about shit I can't control. 0. You're like, what do you think about that? I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. When we go down Main Street, the construction sucks. Yeah. Do you have another way to get home? No, just Main Street. Then why don't you shut up? Main Street's your only way home. There's no other way home. Now, you understand how much better prepared I am, Jacob, than you? Because people don't talk about stupid things. They know I'm a stupid free zone. Stay out of his way. He don't F with stupid. He don't F with complaining. He's not a crybaby. I don't complain. Ask Frank. It's annoying, but I don't. Frank might be like, you know what? This sucks. Dude, I don't care. What can we do about it? Nothing. Then stop talking about it. It literally doesn't matter. But the beautiful thing about our business is it's whatever you want it to be. And by the way, that goes both ways. If you think you can't and you like to complain, you like to be negative, dude, that's the way to work. Like when you have a lack of grace for people, look at the lack of grace you will get. I've been there. Try to fix everybody, got an opinion on everything. I'm getting it all figured out. And guess what? Fast forward a year or two, and you're like, shit, I ain't getting no grace. Well, I didn't give any either. So for about a year now, I'm like, I ain't judging nobody. I ain't better than anybody. I'm going to work my ass off. I hope they do well. I'm here for them. But guess what? The magic in this business really is, can you be there for people even if it ain't benefiting you immediately? Because giving grace to people when you should is like not a big deal. But when you're like, dude, you really shouldn't be giving that guy. And I'm like, I was just talking to a guy for half an hour and he's like about in tears. And I'm like, all right, are you done? And he's like, yes. I said, no, like, I'm not mad at you. God, she making me dizzy. She's like being on a roller coaster, that lady walking with her thing, that pink sweatshirt. She like, literally, I'm like on a roller coaster watching her. She must be out for a walk. I'm actually getting spun up watching her. I'm like, sometimes I'm looking up, I'm at her toes, I'm above her head. But I'm talking to him, and after the 30 minutes, I go, hey, man, how about this? We're done now, right? Let's you and I come up with 5 things that you can do. 5 things that you can do to right the ship. I said, I'll start. You need to buy leads every week and commit to writing 10K a week. Can you do that? Yes. Got it. I said, now you give me one. He lobs me up something stupid. I go, that's not even something that you can do. Give me something else. I'll get over my fear of recruiting people. Cool. Got it. How are you going to do that? He goes, I'll recruit every day. How many people? He goes, oh, damn. I don't know. I said, give me a number. I'll talk to 20 different people a day about our business. Cool. Next one. Now he's rolling. He goes, I'll stop talking negative. Here's the problem. As much as I'm trying to help y'all, truth be told, that the person that's listening to me the most is me. The person listening to you the most is you. And when you're feeding that shit with good shit, it's good. But when you're not, it's awful, because you are listening to you. Every damn word. Well, I didn't feel like doing it today. Then guess what? It's mind over matter. Convince yourself that you want to. Because the question isn't, where's FFL going? I told a guy today that's a corporate officer, not at FFL, big executive. And I said, I think you're betting against me. And he said, I wouldn't say that. I go, I would. And I will bet you, I said, I will bet every dollar you got, if you want. And it's a lot. I don't know how much you got. If I can cover you, I will tell you. If I can't, I'll call some friends. I'll get some money. We'll put it together. I'll cover it. That I will hit you don't bet against me. We're going to get there either way. Frank's going to be there. Mike going to be there. Jesse going to be there. Trey. Trey going to be, we're going to be there. It's a matter of, where will you be? And when you wake up every day and realize you have to, when you're a parent, you don't get to say I was a good parent 3 weeks ago. Every single day you wake up and you're a good parent. And even if you were there every single time, and then one day you're like, I don't feel like protecting my kids. I don't feel like being there for them. I don't really know. I'm going to choose doing this over being a parent. You don't get to pick and choose. And you're running your business for whoever's dependent on you. So do I think that y'all could do a lot better? We all could do better. But what you have to figure out tonight is, what am I going to do to change my situation? What are the things that I can control, that I can change, that I will change? The information's there. I don't know. You have to answer that, but you have to be challenged. You got to challenge yourself. And the problem is that, and this is the last thing I'll say, civility doesn't equal anything great. There's not any books written about how men and women were so safe and so civil. They did nothing. They weren't like, when people say to me, they'll preach to me about sleep, which I think is adorable, right? And they're like, you need more sleep. And I'm like, when did I ask you what I need? Like, when did I make eye contact with you and say, give me an opinion? I don't give a shit about your opinion. If I did, I would ask you. But when I was building this business, I was sleeping 2 to 3, 4 hours a week, or a day. I'm not gonna lie to you. 2 to 3 to 4 hours a day. I could do 3 hours a week, Trey, but I was doing 3 to 4 hours a night. And a guy said to me this very well-rested broke guy said to me one day, aren't you worried about your health? And I said, I'm more worried about letting people down. I love what I do. I'm going to be okay anyway. I'm going to figure it out. I love life. I love the impact we're making on people, and I can't accomplish it when I'm sleeping. Now, do I sleep 3 to 4 hours every night now? No. I can sleep more than that if I want to. I can't sleep a lot because I can't. I'm like a kid you have at your sleepover, and it's like 5 a.m. I'm like, y'all awake? And they're like, no, dude, we're not awake. Like, leave us alone. Plus I didn't have a house. When you don't have a house, you want to sleep at other people's houses. I was a king. Like you, I've known you for a day. I was like, y'all want to have a sleepover at your house? Like, shit, I ain't got no house. And maybe you have stuff in your house. But I really, there's nothing, you can't accomplish anything great by doing the same shit everybody else does. Yet we do it. We get off this call tonight. We're excited, make a sale. We don't. And in 3 days, we go do something stupid. I have a guy recently. What's a professional vacation taker's name? What's that first name of that kid in the local office? AJ. He's a professional vacation taker. Can sell, and he ain't never going to get ahead. Never. He's got like literally zero chance. Because every time he gets ahead, he does what everybody around him does. I didn't sleep for a while. I wasn't going on vacations. If you got married, don't invite me. Here's what I say to people. If you invite me, I'll come and eat and give you $100. Or I'll send you a $200 check, not attend. You don't have to feed me. Which do you pick? They're like, I'll take the $200. I'm like, cool. Unless like my mom got remarried, and I don't think I would have attended that either because I wouldn't have supported it. I was not going. I didn't care. I love y'all. I love Frank Euphemia is one of my favorite people in the world, literally. And I'm going to be honest with you. He's married to Jamie. Thank God. She's awesome. He's good. But if he was not married to Jamie, okay, and he called me after the 3rd year and said, hey, man, I'm getting married, I'd be like, good for you. He's like, can you be at the wedding? And I'd be like, I won't even be I can't be in it. I won't be at it. I didn't have time. Sorry. I don't have time to do stupid crap because I see some of y'all's kids walking behind you. I would kill for mine. Will you go to work for yours? But at some point in time, man, a lot of us were taught the broke way really, really well. And we know it doesn't work. We know the negative complaining that our parents or uncles or grandparents had doesn't work. We know being weak doesn't work. We know we want to be strong. Dude, at the end of the day, everybody's got it in them, but I hope we have some self-analysis today and get moving towards the rest of the year, because when I look at y'all, I see a bunch of amazing businessmen and businesswomen. And when you look in the mirror, a lot of you, you're trying to see it. You want to see it so badly. Then you talk to idiots, you hang out with them, you're negative, somebody in your team calls them airplanes that had a bad day. I had one sign in my little Onico Street house by my bed that I could see. It was a little framed print that a friend of mine got because I used to say it all the time. And all it said was, have some respect for yourself. And every day I woke up, that's what I looked at. And every day I'm like, gonna have, no matter what I went through the night before, no matter what I was thinking about how much sleep I'm going to get, what I have to do tomorrow. Like, dude, I don't actually want to do the things I'm doing tomorrow, to be honest with you. I got to get up stupid early. I'll be in the meetings all day long. I got to jump on an airplane like late tomorrow night, which I don't want to do, to be honest with you. I travel all the way through Monday, the entire weekend before you all get freaked out. Like, I travel, then I get back, change, get some clothes, get back on an airplane. And you go, you're doing it for the money. No, dude, I ain't broke. I'm doing it because most of you have not gotten where you want to. And I feel like it's my obligation. I think I'm being judged, not by you guys, by higher power. I've been blessed to be able to do some of the things I've been able to do. And, you know, at the end of the day, now it's one of those things where if you don't bring people with you, it's pretty damn selfish. So Frank, Mike, the whole crew here, I'm gonna start naming people. I'll leave. I don't want to leave anybody out. I appreciate who you are and what you're doing. We are going to find a way to eradicate complacency in this Baltimore-based group. You're all over the country, has had some of the best energy and culture since the day we started. But I will tell you this. Until Dean Pavlik's doing $1 million a month, and Jesse and everybody else on here, and Bruns's stoic ass is doing $1 million a month, and everybody else, I can't stop. I just can't. So, Frank, I'm turning it back to you. If you have any questions, I'll answer them. If not, I'll get out of the way and let you finish up what you're going to do.
Thank you, Shawn. I obviously appreciate any time you spend time with us. We do know how crazy busy you are. I guess the question I would have is you were so good at pushing us to not get comfortable. Like, it seemed, and it was almost scary to an extent. Like, you actually saw my bank account, and every time we started to have a little extra, it's like you knew, and you call me up and you go, you should hire another staff, or you should buy a building, or you should get an, like, how do you do that with people consistently? And how do you not fall into that yourself? Because it's hard. I mean, it's you're definitely not struggling for money. How, I know you care about people. I don't know if we care as much as you do, but we want to see people win. How do you A, stop yourself from falling into complacency, and B, keep pushing people to stay uncomfortable until they get to that level?
Well, dude, I think you care as much about people winning as I do. I think a lot of you do. I don't think all of you do. I don't know all of you, but I think a lot of you do. I think where you struggle is your ability to communicate it properly to people. You know, and what I mean by that, Frank, is I'm not going to get like weird and preachy with you, but I took a step back when I was pretty young and realized how hard it is to change income classes with your family. Like, I understand how much is set up against us and why learned behavior is so powerful. It wasn't lack of ability. The people I met that were rich were not like that much. They weren't more able-bodied. They weren't smarter. But, dude, they didn't get complacent. And I started to watch how they got ahead. And I was like, dude, I can definitely duplicate that, right? Like, just not in. And so I'm actually afraid, Frank, as big as we get up. And again, if you know me, I never feel like the game's over. And the blessing and the curse with this game is I don't know that it's ever going to be over. Honestly. And that's a good thing. I just don't know. Like, Trey, people ask, what's your long-term plan? I don't know, dude. I'm just going to keep knocking it down, laying the shit down at FFL. Like, I don't know what to tell you. What do you want me to do? But if you've watched me, like, none of you, yeah, they're different teams, but dude, I'll be up by 32 points with a minute left in a basketball game, and I'm like angry about something. Is it really realistic the other team's going to come back? No. I would bet my life savings on it being not. But when I'm in that moment and I'm in it, I somehow convince myself that, like, you know, they're like, you don't need to press anymore. I'm like, shit, you need to learn how to break the press or I wouldn't keep pressing. We might win by 50. Like, I don't want to lose, man. And Frank, I challenge people to figure out, I'm a fact finder when I'm meeting with them, and I'm trying to figure out if they're going to disrupt the status quo. Like, when you launch a business, you need to be a market disruptor. You know, like a lot of the stuff I do on social media, I do it to build the shit out of this brand. I also enjoy it, quite frankly. And then somebody told me one day, who's really big, that I wouldn't be that. He didn't tell me he's scared of me, but he told somebody else that I wouldn't be bigger than him. He had 12-year head start. And I will die before that mother effers. But I will die. Like, literally, I will die. I will be bigger than he is. There's no doubt about it. Purely, and it has no bearing other than I want to win. Like, I don't get a star. I don't play for that. I play for watching other people win. So, but Frank, the problem is we get complacent in our own lives and then we stop challenging people. Or they're doing a little bit better. You know, I will argue that. And then you have to watch people and know you got to build that relationship. And if you don't have a relationship, you shouldn't push people. I think that some of you have been pushed by people that didn't have a relationship with you. You didn't like it because you didn't know what their motivation was. Good, bad, or indifferent. If I'm pushing Trey knows now that I want him to win. So even if he doesn't like what I'm saying, he knows it all comes from the right place. So I have some currency with Trey. Same with Trey. If Trey's challenging me on something I've said or done, he's not doing it for any other reason than, you know what, I'm trying to get everybody to get better. You know, Frank, the problem is you take your eye off for a second, dude, and life changes. And there's so many things like that in life where you just turn the wrong way for a second, take your eye off something for a second, and your whole life changes. So for me, I'd rather be locked in 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And if I want to see people win, I have to challenge the way they see themselves, the way they act. And a lot to it, dude. I mean, a lot to it, you know, and I was just talking to a guy the other day. We had him on. I'm doing this mentorship. He's not in the life insurance business. He will be by the time I'm done with him, but I'm mentoring him in another business. And he, going into it, thinks he doesn't need to change anything. He's made good money. And by the time we're done for an hour, I'm challenging everything about his business. I mean, everything. But I'm learning them and I'm watching. I'm figuring out where to push and where to pull. And then he leaves it like, damn, I don't feel good about any of it. I'm like, dude, I don't want you to feel bad. I just don't want you to feel content. And that's what scares me, you know, because the reality really is that the majority of the people are selling, you know, $8,000 a month, 12 grand a month, 18 grand a month. That means the majority of people aren't making any money. And I don't know how to come to terms with that. There's no part of me that's wired in a way where I'm like, hey, I'm going to be good if people don't make money. So, and I'm rabid about it, Frank. And I also choose I love you, Frank. Like, you know that, like, unequivocally. And if I were to be stuck somewhere for a month and it was purely like, and I wanted to enjoy myself no matter what it was doing, I would pick you to be there. So you have to hear that in my context. I'm explaining this to you. So when I call you or you call me, it's even harder for me with you to be straight business. But you guys don't do it with people that you barely know, because what we've learned is we're going to bullshit. We're going to talk a little about something. We're going to, you know, and I don't do that. I'm like, what's up, man? Like, I'm right to it. And I love you, Frank, but I'm that way. And dude, I don't know how to undo it, dude. This is the mode I'm in all the time. And I don't apologize for it either. You know, I'm kind of unapologetically psychotic about it. And it works for me. So, because what happens is every time complacency wins, right? I'm hungry. I'm complacent. I'm hungry. Once complacency wins, your business dies. And my business don't die. I'm going to keep going either way. Like, I know that for a fact. I didn't get hurt. You got hurt. And I don't want to see people get hurt, man. So I know it's a very long answer, but I hope it makes sense.
It definitely, I remember battling with you about getting up early. And I was like, dude, I'm good, but can I sleep in on Sundays? And you were like, nope, no days. And I was like, he's really like that rabid about it. I remember that to this day. And I was like, I was thinking you were going to say, yeah, you sleeping on Sundays. If you get up 5 a.m. the rest of the days, you were like, nope, not even Sundays. I was like, dude, I'm starting to not like you.
Yeah. Well, and again, I'm not preaching to anybody, but the best leadership book is the Bible. And there isn't anywhere in there. I mean, you do what you want in the Sabbath. I'm all about it. You better do everything you got to do and put God first. But there's nowhere that says you don't work hard. Matter of fact, like that's a hardcore book about your work ethic and your obligation to other human beings, especially those of which that don't have what you have or don't have the abilities that you have from a mental, physical, whatever it is standpoint. Like, I don't know, dude. I'm not afraid of any man, but I am definitely afraid of the man above. So I just am. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe I have my own reality of what I can do, what I can't, but I'm just telling you, dude, like I ain't playing. So, and also, Frank, here's the thing. At the end of the day, you sleeping on a Sundays wouldn't be that big a deal. The problem is it's a slippery slope. And because it's a slippery slope, all of a sudden we give in on that. And then you're a normal human being. So you're like, if I give it on that, like, what's the big deal over here? If I'm doing it on Sunday, if I don't make my dollars one day a week, what's the big deal not making it 2 or 3? And you know what? I'm not going to recruit on Saturday and Sunday. Shit, why should I recruit on Monday and Tuesday? And here's the problem. Everybody's watching you. You know what it feels like to come to terms with the fact that everybody's watching you. And then you're responsible for what they see and what they emulate. No, if I do something, bro, I do it. I'm in it. I am on it. Whatever I'm doing, I'm giving it everything I got. Passion, energy, motivation, but I ain't complacent. I'll be number one at everything I do. And you should feel the same way for you. Regardless of what the outcome is, that's how you should feel. But, and Frank, here's the problem when you do that with people. You risk them not talking to you. You risk ostracizing them. Well, that could happen. And I don't want it to happen, but it could happen. But you know what? If I ostracize him, but I shot him straight, dude, I can put my head in the pillow at night. Dude, life is really good. So, but I got to jump on another Zoom, man. But I appreciate you having me, brother. I got nothing but love for you. Appreciate y'all. And thanks for jumping on. Thanks for giving me some time.
Thank you for all you do. Appreciate you.
Thank you,
You got it,
Shawn.
guys. You got it, Mike.
Thank you.
See you, Drew. All right, Mike, that went a little bit longer, but let's get Bruns and Dom on here so they can rip for 20, 30 minutes.
Let's get Bruns on here first. Jacob, what's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? For those of you guys who don't know, Bruns was in California. He's on Dom's team, and then he came out here to Maryland. He's got family out here, and he came. How long's it been now? About a month?
About that.
Man, and you came out here and said you kind of, wanted to feel back at home. But what's exciting is you've been coming into the office every day and working Facebook final expense, right? Everyone tells me Facebook leads are dead. And then you come in here and every single day is selling 2 to 3, a couple young guys in that conference room with you. And they're telling me how big of a help it's been with you in there. So if you just kind of share with everyone what your schedule looks like, what's your mindset like, and what are you trying to accomplish every day when you come in here?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on, Mike. Facebook final expense leads, dude, they're so simple, right? They're simplified issue, right? We get paid fast, right? So for me, dude, I just come in every day. If I work out with you, if I don't work out with you, whatever it is, and I just start dialing, one call closing. It's strictly getting them on the phone and you have one chance, right? That's always been my mentality. If it's ever I need to think about it, it's more or less you're not getting that close. Right? So like for me, it's like you got one shot, especially with final expense. But my mentality going into it, man, is just talking to them like they're your grandparents, like just having a genuine conversation about exactly what they're trying to accomplish so that you can solve it. Right. But a lot of the problems that I'm seeing, new agents coming in or people that are just getting into Facebook final expense is just the tonality, right? Of just actually keeping a level tonality throughout the entire appointment to be able to portray to that client how important this is to them. Right. And bringing up that much value in what you're actually selling. Like that's the most important thing, because a lot of people, right, are getting hung up on, the price, or like oh, I got these quotes somewhere else, or I already have this policy in place I'm paying cheaper for. majority of the time it's Facebook final expense they're either adding on or they're trying to beat the prices. Like it's either route. Makes sense. So it's, for me, dude, it's just keeping a mentality of like, dude, I'm going to help this client on the phone no matter what. If I can't, like, I can't help everyone, but um the thing for me is, dude, I just want to rip them like every day, just dialing 300-400 times a day and see how many I get.
When you came back, how long did it take for like money to start rolling in once you started picking up final expense leads, started getting deposits into the bank?
Yeah, it's quick. America, it's 2 days, every other, it's quick, it's quick money. It's simple. I wrote an app the other day. It took 10 minutes, 10 minutes, $600, So for me, it's the most common sense thing out there.
When you
Like,
came back, Jacob, you had stopped your CRM, and we were like, dude, if you're going to work this many leads, you need a way to manage them. How much has that thing helped you since you came back? Turning that back on, having your leads go in there. I know you sold like 2 self books, like $5,000 the other day from it, but how much of a help has it been for you utilizing that with the number of leads that you have coming in?
it's just like a bonus, like you're not expecting it, because you would have never got that. You may have never have gotten a hold of that person in the first place, right? So for you to be calling and for the same leads to be getting dripped on, it's just double the work. You're putting out double the work with not even having to do that on the CRM side. So the self books help, they're just an added bonus, but I consistently call just to ensure, hit the numbers.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I know everyone that's in here, we do a lot of calls about IULs, but I think too many times we're skipping over the foundation of what this business is, and that's simplified issued final expense and mortgage protection. And it's awesome watching what you're doing, because I think that when people come in, they say, well, I don't understand IULs. I mean, that's a bonus on top. Understanding the simple stuff is where it's at, and I think where everyone needs to start. Frank, you have any other questions for Jacob before we bring on Don?
Yeah, and Dom's probably got, because Dom honestly is the one that trained him to do what he does. But
Can't
I
see
mean,
him. Where is
Jacob,
he?
if you could, Dom's on here. If you could go through some of the word tracks and some of the things that you teaching these younger guys in the office, how to get over some of the main objections we get on the telesale, whether it's social banking or just getting them to commit to the application, that'd be great. Because I listen to you, and the cool thing about Bruns guy is he's so excited. Like, and when he closes one, he's excited. But when he's watching one of the other guys in the room close one, he gets even more fired up, which
He
is why
does.
we love you, because it's always fun to win, but when you see other people winning with you, it makes it even better. So I appreciate that about you. But yeah, if you could go through some of those word tracks and stuff like that, that'd be pretty helpful to a lot of these people on here.
Yeah, for sure. I'll just go through like my initial script, because I think the introduction is the most important, right? Because a lot of people are getting hung up like just off the initial, like whatever they're saying, right? And it's, everyone has different whatever, starting intros to their script. But what I do with the Facebook final expense is I just say, hey, Frank, this is Jacob. I'm just getting back to you about that request you submitted on Facebook. You'd watch the video with the female male couple video going over the state regulated final expense program. You put your beneficiary as this, is that right? Yep. Sweet. My job's super simple. I'm just the underwriter, trying to go over what you qualify for. It takes 10 minutes. Grab a pen and paper. Right. So that's like the intro. If we go through like social objections, I typically, I haven't got one of those in a minute, but it's more or less about the confidence and how you portray it. Right. And building trust early on. So like what a lot of these guys are doing in here is like they're going through the intro, but they're skipping over like the most important thing, which is the why. Like building the value initially, building up trust with the client, and getting through the socials. Like it's not, some people just won't do it too. You just got to understand that and expect it. So if I ever get like, a social objection, I'm like, okay, bye. But majority of the times it's, hey, what they do is they run your MIB or your Medical Information Bureau database report. Anything you've been prescribed, diagnosed in the past is going to be on that. Okay. And how they actually attach this policy to you as a human entity, it's with your social. So what's that? So trying to kind of like explain to them why I need it before I actually get it. That helps out a lot. And then banking, same thing. It's like, hey, next section of this application, just setting up a form of payment. All right, who are you banking with? Bang. All right, cool. I look up the routing number. And then I say, okay, cool. Just to verify routing number is this. All right, what's your account number? And just having full confidence in what you're saying and asking them, that not even like asking like scared, it's just you have full confidence that you do this every single day, right? And that you're the professional, right? If they're like, why do you need that? You got to pay for it somehow. You know what I mean? So it's just being blunt, but being simple. And that's what I learned majority from Dom. I laugh all the time at what he says. But that's where I get all of it,
Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing with new agents learning it is just they're not confident enough in actually portraying it or saying it to the clients. So tonality is extremely important there,
So, and that takes time, right?
Correct.
I mean,
Takes
it's
a lot.
the only way to get from scared, nervous, unsure to confident as hell on the phone is repetition.
Yep.
Just
Right.
like swinging a baseball bat, right?
Yep. Yep.
I mean, and that's the thing. It's lead, schedule, phone script, top 3 important things here to get good at. But if you have a great schedule and a good lead flow, you ain't going to help but get good on the phone after so long, because you're only going to suck for so long. And trust me, we all sucked when we first started. Mike, did you have something to say or a question?
Yeah, I was just going to comment on what you said, Frank Bruns. It's almost like you're these guys' older brother, because Frank was right about that, man. You get so damn excited. You come running down the hall and you're like,
High fiving.
Zach just got one. John got one. I mean, but that's what's fun when you're working with part of a team. And I think that's what everyone gets into a dial room. And I think that's what makes it so fun about hiring. I bet you being in there with those guys and helping them has got you more excited about hiring and building your own team, right? It's fun.
100%.
And people ask all the time, like, why do you build? It's because of that. That right there is exciting. When you can come in and help someone like Zach, who, wasn't doing what he's doing now, it's exciting to be able to help people. So I love seeing what you're doing, man. It is fun.
Yeah, agreed. Why don't we bring Dom on and let Dom maybe ask Bruns a couple questions, then he can wrap it up.
What's up, squad?
What's
What's
up?
Dom?
Yo, following Shawn. Following Shawn. It's just like, damn, what do we do, dude? Like y'all want to wrap it up? Like, what y'all want to do? Like,
That's what we usually do, Dom. But I'm like, you know what? And it's funny. I just put this in our chat. I'm like, the people that hop off after Shawn leaves,
Yeah.
it's pretty sad, because those people think they're not going to learn anything from anyone but Shawn.
Yeah.
And it's like, they'll never grow because their ego's too big, thinking, oh, I know what Dom knows, or I can do what Dom and Bruns do. And it's like, it's really sad. I wish I had a list of the people that were on with Shawn and one without. And then when they called me, and I could just tell them, like, yeah, I don't really got time to work with you. Your ego's too big. But it is pretty sad, Dom, because I think obviously you sound, you get this. I know you get this all the time, because I do. And you're even more identical to Shawn. Like, you sound like Shawn. You're how you speak, your attitude, like you are a mini Shawn Meaike.
you want to know something, Frank? And dude, that's humbling as hell. And I tell you what, dude, as it pertains, a lot of things that you're going to be you, right? You're going to be you. And that's one thing I've just grown as a man. But I realized early on, the more you can adopt just being a parrot, the better. I think there's too many folks that are trying to make this their own, like way too fast. They're like, yeah, I read this script, and then I made it something I was comfortable with. And I was like, from the person who's never made freaking 10 grand a week, like, why are you doing that? Makes sense? Like, just do it the way that they're doing it, and be a parrot. So this is the biggest thing. So Jacob, talk to us about, as you're getting trained, okay, and taking the coaching and what you think you want to say innately and what you're getting coached on, and walk us through that. How do agents do that?
Are you talking about like if like you coaching me and like how?
Yes,
Gotcha.
I'm coaching you. It's uncomfortable, but you do it anyways.
Yeah. So like from the start, like Dom was always like, yo, triple dial your leads, talk over them, act pissed off and bothered. And of course, just be the way Dom is, right? So it's just like being super blunt on the phone. Like, you're there for a reason. So, be there. And so for me, dude, like I played baseball in my background. So that's all I ever knew. And I just knew how to get coached. Right. And with Dom, like, it was just a direct correlation of like, yo, Dom's been doing it for 13 years. Why would it make any other sense to listen to anyone else in this business except for Dom at this point, you know? So it's more or less like I just took exactly what Dom said and I did it. It was scary as shit at first. You're right. I was like, why would I triple dial someone? They're gonna get pissed off at me. They're gonna yell at me. They're gonna cuss me out. And I had that. So like I was like, Dom, you know, these people are getting mad that I'm calling them 3 times in a row or 20 times a day. Do you understand? Like, this is uncomfortable. He was like, yeah, I get it, but just do it. I said, okay, all right. If they scream at me, I'm going, like, if they say they're going to call the cops, it's going to you. Right. But like, that was scary initially, but I would just take from what you were doing and I saw you had success in it. So I would say, why the heck would I not do it? You know? So I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of agents. It's just uncomfortability. And that's the thing with Zach is, you know, as I'm coaching or teaching someone, it's like, dude, I don't know how to tell you any other way than what I know. So like, just do that. And we don't have to coach on anything else because I don't know how to do it any other way. You know what I mean? So that's
and there's really not many ways to do this. I mean, you can like personalities are different, but at the end of the day, you take Jamie's personality and Dom's personality and you completely different. But on the phones, they're saying the same thing. It's just Jamie saying it and Dom saying it, same exact thing. Like, and that's why when you ask me about Zach, I'm like, dude, you just like, it's just going to take time. You just got to keep drilling. And eventually he hears it in the background, whether he's listening or not, he's hearing it. And then he's listening to you say it actively. And then he starts saying it and it'll just be second nature, just like that, you know? But I love that because we just had that conversation and I didn't even talk to Dom about that, but I like, that's so priceless. Maybe you did, but I think that's the way it works. It's just you keep saying it over and over again, and eventually they pick it up.
Dude, that's and I see so many folks, whether or no, we're getting in the final expense, but anything we're doing, you guys, if like I was listening to Nick, right, and Jesse, so like I'm learning how to be a parrot with something new. Does that make sense? Like, how do I just hear Nick and say exactly the way he's saying? You with me? Like, I'm not trying to like, well, let me put Dom's twist on it. Like, no. Because Dom don't know how to do that. Dom don't sell $100,000 a month in IUL business. Make sense? So I got to do that over here. Now, if you're like, well, I'm looking to sell $30,000, $40,000 final expense, cool. Do what Jacob's doing. Makes sense. But find some folks that you want to duplicate. And that's why it's so hard to be good at everything. When you're, I want to do final expense, IUL, and you're not great at any of them, pick one and just get really good at it. Okay. And the easiest one to get really good at is final expense. Okay. Final expense and mortgage protection. All right. And do you mind if I kind of roll into Safeguard?
Yeah, let's do it, man. I'm excited about that,
100%.
what you've been doing.
We might need to do this with more time too, Dom.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool. I'll give folks a 4 or 5 minute, like, you know, conceptual. Cause I Trey went over a few weeks ago, very, you know, detailed what it do personal use, but selling it, you guys, I hate to even say selling it, providing it. Maybe that's the better word. Providing it, okay, is helping me close way more deals, okay? And you got to put it in there at the right times, okay? So what Legacy Safeguard is, it's an all-encompassing, holistic plan for members, okay, of anybody who has an integrity policy, or if they just know you, they're a part of, you meet anybody and this can help them, they're a member, they can have it, okay? But what I've been doing with mortgage protection, final expense, and overall, I'm gonna start with mortgage protection. There's a ton of mortgage leads in the CRM. And this has been a big help, okay? With the ages 50, 60 plus mortgage protection. How many of you guys get those leads? 40, 50, 60 years old, mortgage protection?
Best lead ever.
They have a $300,000 mortgage, $200,000 mortgage. And, you know, the insurance piece of it, yes, we can do some mortgage payment protection, right? Okay. We can make that make sense, but you know what makes it make sense even more is when you can show them how to set up a trust, how to get a living will set up, and how this $6,000, $10,000 mortgage protection policy is going to go straight into the trust and help that family stay in that house. You're not only saying, here's the money, but here's what the money's going to do. And here's the entity and the legal documents are per se that will allow that to happen. All right. How do you get into that though? Right. I'm talking to Trey. Hey, Trey, how much is left on your mortgage? About 300 grand. How much you pay a month? 3,500. All right, sweet. Is your house in a trust?
Nope.
No? Okay. And you know what they follow up with say every time is no, but I've been looking into that.
Yes.
100% of the time. I have not had one that said, sometimes I say yes and they already have it. Cool, all good. Right. But yeah, no, I've been looking into that. All right, great. All right, because a trust is going to make sure probate doesn't get in the way. Life insurance does not make sure probate doesn't get in the way. Okay. We need to make sure that when you pass away, all right, the trust doesn't die. All right. But you know, reason folks don't have trust is because, dude, they don't have a guy, they don't have a girl, and nor do they want to pay $200-300 an hour just to talk to somebody about it. So anybody who's a member with us has access to attorneys, estate planners, okay, that can help you set all these things up. So the insurance is going to be great to have, but you need a little bit more to make sure this insurance is actually helping you transfer this to your family. Now they're like, oh yeah, I'm okay. Now that $5,000 mortgage protection policy has way more value than just that, you know, $300,000 mortgage, $5,000 policy. So I know that. And so there's many different ways to get into that, but do you have a trust? Do you have a will? 99% of the time, the answer is going to be no. Okay. And then you can help them fill that void. Don't finish the whole legacy safeguard, dangle it over. Here's what it can do. And then get back to the insurance, close the insurance out, and then get them the legacy safeguard. Same way we do with annuities, right? We don't write the whole annuity right there. Nope. We dangle it. This is what it will do. Close the deal, get them that.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions? I know we're tight, but
Bernadette has a good question. She's saying, how can we help with will and living trust using legacy safeguard? How does that help us to do that?
It gives our clients access to estate planners.
There you go.
Okay.
We're not doing it. They're doing it.
Yeah. So our clients can call up there. They're going to talk to it. And I tell my clients, I'm not an estate planner. Be clear. I'm an insurance guy. Okay. But I know estate planners. And the reason people don't have this stuff is because they don't know them. So now I'm going to get you somebody that you know. And if you don't do it from here, that's on you. All right. But now
and then they're asking you questions like, how much is it going to cost?
It's a free service. I'm sorry, guys. My phone. Can somebody take this? My phone's tripping. It's taking me.
Hey, you're good.
I don't know why it's ringing over here.
All right. Well, you know what? We should do another one, Mike, where he can, because Dom's closing these. Maybe he goes through
a bunch of
complete script and lets everybody know. Because I think this is huge for newer agents, because there are companies out there that have something similar and their rates are 20, 30, 40% more than Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, Aetna, Prosperity. And these clients sometimes are hell-bent on keeping this product and paying 30% more because they think that they have something that's obviously that much value, right? Well, we have the same thing now, and it's free, and we can actually save them money and give them legacy safeguard,
Dude.
Which would go ahead, Dom.
Dude, it's been a game changer.
Game changer.
Like, educate yourself on it. But I've had clients that legit, I just had a call. I got a client, Luis. I wrote him up an IUL like 3 weeks ago. He goes, hey, my buddy wants an IUL and also that legacy safeguard. Like, he just called me. Luis just called me. Okay. And said that. Right. And he goes, oh, I could have texted you, but I just wanted to, just give you a shout and just let you know I really appreciate all that. I'm like, dude, I don't know if he would have felt the same way if it was just the IUL.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This was a young guy. Guy was 30 years old. 30 years old. But then talk to your younger demographics about, man, this is a program that, like, a lot of folks, they think of like almost when it's too late. They're older. They're literally thinking about dying. How sweet is it going to be for you to be building this right now? Dude, when you're in your living years.
Yeah.
right? When you're actually putting it together, your kids will know about it. You'll like put it together. It's like, it'll be an exciting time to talk about legacy. Who wants to talk about it at 60, 70 years old? That's depressing. You know what I mean? And that's just building the value of, okay, this is what this does. And I'd let them know it's completely separate. I let them know, hey, this has nothing to do with your insurance. You're paying $300 to AIG and you're paying nothing to Legacy Safeguard. They're like, it almost sounds too good to be true. I was like, I know. The company that's been out for about 15 years, they made a bunch of money on it. Be clear. All right. They made a bunch of money on it. Now they're willing to give it to us and our members for free because they see how impactful it is for people. But be clear, Integrity made a ton of money off of this thing in the last 14 years. Okay. But they're going to give it to you for free because you know me. Now they're like, huh. Okay, I'm like, be clear. They do make money, but just not on you. They made it past 14 years. They've been crushing it. And that's facts. That's true, by the way, you guys. So like this is the type of stuff that is going to allow people to go, oh, man, I'm with you. I get it. You know, and the referrals from that are huge, you know, but finding the time, asking those questions. The living will is always the end right there. Do you have a living will? Do you have a trust? Boom. I don't care what type of lead you got, final expense, IUL, mortgage protection, you should ask that question, put it on your financial inventory. And that gives you the way. And sometimes I'll be talking to them about it and we do the insurance and they go, hey, Dom, hey, what's that? Remember that thing you told me about with the will? Like, yeah, how we get that set up? How's that work? Because I almost forgot, because I almost got excited that I just sold one for $450 and I almost forgot. Makes sense? But they don't forget this stuff. All right. So think about that. Educate yourself on this. See the value in it and start talking to people about it, and you'll get excited about it. And if you guys ever want to hop on our Zoom or any other ones, like I'm sure we're all like, there's not a sale that I get on that I don't bring it up. I don't even know how. Like, honestly, if I was just vigilant with annuities, I'd probably write more of them, to be honest with you. Okay. So, but like, it's just so it's there. So take it, talk to anybody about it, even the no sales. I've had no sales. Guys, I was an ass. If I didn't sell you, you hated me. I didn't really it was either I wrote you or you hated me. That was it. Okay. Now Legacy Safeguard gives me a gray area. It gives me an area that I can go, all right, so yeah, right now, okay, no, not right now, but hey, how about this? Do this, boom, boom, boom. It's kind of soften it up a little bit for a follow-up on the insurance in the future versus me going, nah. You know what I mean? So if you're like me and you're black and white, this'll help you be a little softer.
Dom, could we get you to record something? Maybe like a 15-minute going through your script, how you do it exactly, which I think would be extremely helpful. We'll put that in the training camp. And then obviously in the agent hub, because I think, again, this for new agents, I think this is going to be a game changer just to kind of get people to let their guard down. And I think that's the toughest thing for new people when they're doing this is, how do I get people to let their guard down enough to give me their social and their banking information?
Right.
At the end of the day, that's all we need. And it's the hardest part of what we do as new agents. So this could help a lot of people make a lot more money a lot faster. So Dom, can you work on that video for us?
I could definitely work on it. There was one piece that man, it was just at the tip of my tongue. Final expense, right? This is a big one for final expense. And Jacob, start really throwing this in there, dude. And anybody working final expense. The survivor benefits for like counseling. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Counseling and to set up the funeral. Okay. Now, you don't just tell them, hey, they have services that give counseling. Hey, they have services that helps you set up the funeral. That's not good enough. Okay. Stories is what gets people to really get it. Okay. So you go, hey, Trey, and like funeral homes, like we need them, but they're in the business of making money. You know that, right?
Yeah.
You're going to go, yep. All right. Now, Trey, last thing you want is Jure working a deal with a funeral home 2 days after you die. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's right. That's a good point.
Okay. pretty much whatever the funeral home says. What do you think Jeray would say if they said, hey, it's 12,000, 15,000, 20,000? What do you think she would say?
Should say okay.
She'd say, okay, why? She's mourning. She just lost her husband. Dude, it's terrible time. Ain't nobody trying to wheel and deal 2 days after they lost their husband, right?
Right.
Okay. So what our company does and all of our members, they have somebody who fights for you and gets you the best rates. Zero emotion, doing the right thing by you. And if they tell them it's 12 grand, I bet you they'll get it down to 10 because they know what's actually going on. And then you, okay, or your wife can mourn and do whatever she needs to do without worrying about how much is it. How's that sound?
Yeah, that sounds great.
If you qualify, that's a benefit that you'll have.
Okay.
And also, Trey, you talk about those 2 kids you got.
Mm-hmm.
Man, have you lost anybody in your family?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did your insurance cover like counseling, or did you go talk to somebody and things like that? How'd that work out for you?
No, I wish I had actually, but my insurance didn't cover that. I didn't even know where to go.
Well, you know what? A lot of insurances don't cover it. Okay. And what we have here is a free program that all your surviving benefits, your kids, anybody who's affected, they're going to have licensed folks to talk to and help them cope and deal with the big loss of losing their dad, granddad, whatever. You know, makes sense. So hopefully you guys are getting that. I wanted to share that with you because that's going to put some money in your damn pocket tonight. All right.
Yes.
That's going to get people the coverage tonight. And this builds a sense of urgency too. And now when I follow up and go, what's your social? What's this? They don't give a shit. They're like, dude, I trust them. You're my guy. You're the one who just helped me out, told me that you're going to be there for my survivors. You told me that all that type of stuff is going to help you close. Make sense?
Yes.
That's awesome.
That's great.
So, yeah, I didn't want to forget that. So
no, that's fire.
Hey, I want to throw, Frank, before we wrap up, I want to throw this out there. Every day in the dial room, here, let me post it in here for everyone. The dialteam.ffall.com. Dom's in there. Jacob's in there. Jacob's been killing it. We don't have enough people in that dial room. And Dom, you see his posts every day when he's posting his sales. He's putting final expense plus legacy safeguard, and people can see it live every day. The video is great. You can be on there live and watch him do it.
For sure.
We have a dial room and it's starting to take off. So definitely plug in there if you want to learn how to get better on the phone.
So,
all right.
yeah, thanks for having me, you guys. And Bruns, good shit, dude. All right. Stay after it. Keep your head down. All right. Keep your head down. Keep serving the people. And remember the clients, dude. That's one thing I'll say in this business is the money you get into this spot financially, right? And then you get out of it and you forget about the people that you're helping. Okay. Even when you get out of your financial spot, remember the people. Because when you start to remember the people, you don't get complacent when you think of the people. I promise you. You get complacent when you think about your bank account.
That's right.
You don't get complacent when it's about the people. Okay.
So,
that's the feeling that we're getting right now. And that's why this legacy safeguard is so big. Because I'm just like, dude, we're really helping people.
mm-hmm.
Just like, dude, Nick and Jesse with the IU. Jesse, your light switched when it went from this over here to where maybe I didn't see too much value in to this over here. I'm really helping people. And when the helping people reaches from your mind to your heart, this shit's a wrap. I don't give a damn what type of lead you're calling. But it's got to hit your heart. So
You're fired, Dom. Thank you, man.
Up, dude.
No doubt. So, guys, thank you all so much for hopping on tonight. I know it went a little bit over, but definitely worth it. Next week, same time, Thursday at noon Eastern, we have our SRS liftoff call. This week will be the Q&A. So if you have any questions regarding annuities, IULs, hop on. We'll have Lauren and Nicole from the SRS staff that run tons of illustrations on IULs and annuities. Zach will be on answering IUL questions. I'll be on answering annuity questions. Guys, we need to get, we had 249 people on this call, top. We had 132 people on the builders call today at noon. I'm so sad for the entire company because nobody's promoting. And that builders call today with Wiley was insane. It was so good. And the SRS call on Thursday, the Q&A will be insane. They're always so good, but we've got to get on. I mean, we should have 240. We should have no less than 249 on all of those calls every week, because that's what was on this call tonight. And then we add Zach's group in, who gets 250 to 300 people on his call every week. That's 600. And then we get some of these other groups just promoting these calls. Then we can have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 people on a call every week learning stuff like legacy safeguard, learning how to sell IULs, learning how to protect people's retirement and annuities. We have to start promoting more and more and more. So again, great job this week for everybody being on time and getting on here and promoting. Obviously, this is the best week we've done promoting. It's the most we've ever had on a call. So
Actually backed out at 250. 250 is the max.
I didn't see 250. I was looking for it because that's what you said on the text. But hey,
It's 250. We hit it.
249. I am
Yep.
fired up. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Love y'all. Take care.